Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. People ask me a question a lot, what's your favorite grass? You know, if you were gonna go out and plant something, what's your favorite grass? And, you know, I'd have to put in there right at the very top, as far as making money on a grass-based operation, that would be fescue grass. And what we have on our farms is the old fescue. Some people called it dirty fescue. It's called Kentucky 31. It's got the endophyte in it that actually can cause animal performance issues if you graze it incorrectly or if your cattle aren't adapted to it. We've been grazing it for ever since we started. I guess that'd be around 40 years, getting close to half a century. And heck, my dad grazed it when I was young, so I would say over half a century. And one of the beautiful things about fescue is we've already had probably 5 to 6 hard killing frost. And so, you know, the orchard grass and some of those, they'll start dying out now pretty hard. Brome, it's done. Reed's canary grass, it's the very first one to go brown. It's not worth a darn for winter grazing. But look at this. This is Kentucky 31. I've already grazed this paddock, by the way. I don't take it all. We leave some so I can have something to come back to. Look at that leaf. Folks, that darn thing is right at 2 feet long. Yeah. And it's green. I mean, it's lush green. Now, why didn't the animals graze it this pass? I don't know. I bet you they get it on the next pass. That's what's nice about leaving some behind. See, I've got 141 acres on this farm. And I'm gonna get probably another 2 grazings off of this. And we haven't had any rain. The water spigot shut off pretty much the 1st of August. And so we went, well, approaching 90 days now. We just haven't had hardly any rain. We got an 1/8 of an inch a couple days ago. And you could literally go out in the driveway and kick your foot and you could kick up dust. So, you know, we'll take it. I mean, it kind of, I imagine it gave the grass a little bit of a drink, 1/8 of an inch, but it didn't do anything for our soil moisture. But this Kentucky 31, tell you what, folks, it's a beast. There is another fescue out there. They call it the novel endophyte, which is the friendly endophyte. It's not restrictive to animal performance. It is a little bit of a trick and pretty costly to get started, or it can be. You've got to, well, one of the recommendations is you've got to spray your farm and kill this stuff first. You got to kill your existing fescue, the Kentucky 31. You got to kill it. And then they recommend, well, they do that in the spring, and you got to spray it again in the fall to get the fescue that escaped and came back. See, plants don't like to die. They will come back. And Kentucky 31 has got a really heavy root system on it, so it's tough to kill. And anyway, after you spray it the second time, then you go in, you no-till your endophyte, the novel endophyte, they call it, the friendly endophyte fescue in. And I'll be the first to say it's good grass, and you can get good gains on it and such. But one of the problems I've seen with it is the cost. And if you don't get a stand, you got to go back and re-drill it. And here's the big one: if you feed any hay in the wintertime, you better make darn sure it's novel friendly. Okay? You can't just go out and buy anybody's grass hay, because it's going to have the Kentucky 31 plant in it. And you unroll that hay, or you can put it in a ring out here on this land. Well, now you've got the old fescue taken back over, and that's what happens. So in 5 years, you got to go out and then you got to spray your farm again. You got to put in the novel. Folks, I'm not going to do all that. I can't make a living doing that because the real cost of spraying twice, buying the seed, and I mean, you're playing Russian roulette. If it doesn't rain, you're not going to get a stand. I've got a stand right here. My animals up there on the ridge in the sun, they're doing quite well this morning. All of them, they're fat. They got a good hair coat on them. They're putting on weight on Kentucky 31 infected fescue. Okay, I said it. I know there's some forage specialists out there probably ready to reach out and choke me. That's okay. They don't make their living on the farm. I do. And I've got to have forage out here that doesn't cost me a fortune to put in. And it has staying power. Folks, you can abuse this fescue. You can abuse it and it'll come back. Unfortunately, it doesn't grow real well where you have a lot of heat. So down in Texas, South Texas, even parts of Oklahoma, southern Alabama, all on the coast down there, you're not going to have very good luck with fescue. It needs a little cooler weather. But I'll tell you what, if you're fortunate enough to live in an area that you can grow this wonderful plant, I call it wonderful, I said it, you can save so much money in the winter by not having to feed hay. Because I don't care how many frosts this stuff gets, it stays green. The lower portion of the plant will stay green all winter long. And the cattle, are they gaining 2 pounds a day on it? Absolutely not. But they're maintaining, and they might even be putting on a little weight all through the winter, and you didn't have to bail up nothing. It grows out here naturally, and it takes a lot to kill it. I mean, you got to graze it to the dirt and continually graze it to the dirt, and then get into a big old drought. That might thin out a little bit of it. You're not going to kill it, not all of it. Yep. So that's my talk on Kentucky 31 fescue. I think it's the best winter grass made, and I don't know any other grass that'll hold the cow up when it rains and rains and rains and rains and rains. It won't stop raining, and you walk on the ground goes squish, 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 and you're trying to get cattle out across this farm because you don't have a sacrifice paddock, and you're not going to get a tractor out on here and tear up your land. You're going to keep moving your animals. There's no other grass that'll hold the cow up as well as Kentucky 31. There isn't. Not another grass on the face of the planet. And will maintain its palatability as the winter progresses. It actually goes up. How's that work? How's it get more palatable as we see more cold weather? Well, they've measured it. The endophyte, the toxic endophyte in the plant, starts to drop as it sees colder weather. So it actually becomes better feed. I'm walking over my trench here. We trenched this new line in. We got our water meter, folks. Took us 6 months, but we got it. They finally let us have one. And we're very, 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 very thankful for having our water. Thank you, Water District. We are super appreciative, and the animals are even more appreciative. Yep. Here it is. This has already been grazed. If we'd have had any rain at all, this stuff would be up to my waist. But, you know, that's the way ranching is. You can sit around and moan and groan and complain about it, or you can take it as fact. Sometimes it gets dry. And even though we had the best growing season I can ever remember, as far as the first part of it, the last 90 days, I think it's drier this fall than it was last fall. And we were in a 2 to 3 year drought last year. I'll say this, our ponds are a lot better shape. Most of them are 3/4 full and a little bit higher, some of them. It's because we got some pretty good rain this summer. July was a stellar month. I think we had I have to go back and look at my day timer, but I think we had like 11 inches in the month of July. That's unheard of. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. It's a beautiful day here in October. We're getting toward winter here, folks, pretty darn soon. And yeah, it's another season. I love living in Missouri because I get to witness all 4 seasons. I get the spring when everything's budding out, the leaves are coming on, the grass is starting to get green and growing, the birds are chirping, there's baby everything, baby deer, baby foxes, baby rabbits. Then you get into summer, the grasses get really high energy in them, cattle thrive. Then you get into fall, the leaves are turning now, and the weather's starting to get cold. You want what did I do with my, oh, there they are. I thought I lost my gloves. You want gloves and a hat and a light coat. And yeah, I pulled out my old trusty Carhartts. There's a hole in them. There's another hole. There's another hole. Folks, these are just not getting broke in. I'm not gonna go get new ones. Everybody, oh great, you gotta get new ones. No, I'm not gonna get new ones. Look at the cow pats. Man. That's out of our bulls or a steer, one of the two. So, yeah, if you're in the market for some steers, we've got some. And these would be anywhere from, well, some of them were born last fall, so they'd be around 450. There's some in there that go 800. They'd be ones ready to butcher next spring. So, anyway, that's it. We'll see y'all next time, and hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you.